Welcome back to NASCAR Generations Round 1 Group 3 at the Big O. We've got a strong lineup today, and these drivers are ready to fight for a spot in the next round. Let's meet the competitors.
First up, we've got Raging Ricky, driving for Oregon Diecast in a 2015 Dodge SRT. It sounds like he's ready to rage through traffic. Hopefully, he can keep it on the track and doesn't try to use his horn.
Next in the lineup is Leo from Reno Racing, behind the wheel of a 2022 Camaro ZL1. He's known for precision driving and keeping a cool head under pressure.
Then we've got Arlo, driving for Arlo Racing in a T-Bird Stalker. A guy who names both the team and the car after himself? Talk about confidence. Let's see if that T-Bird can fly or if it's just here to cluck around.
Ned, I hope you actually meant cluck around and not something else. Next up, we have cousin Ricky, racing for Funkhauser Diecast Racing in the iconic number 3. Big shoes to fill, but he seems confident enough to carry that number. We'll see if he lives up to the legacy.
And here's Dusty Miles, repping Milestone Diecast Racing in the number 8. With a name like Dusty, let's just hope he doesn't leave us all in the dust. Unless that's his game plan.
And finally, we have Sneaky Bob, driving for Vapor Diecast Racing, driving a 67 Dodge Charger. Known for playing it smart and waiting for the right moment to strike, we'll see if his sneaky tactics pay off today. All right, we're going to head right into race 1. The field comes around the final turn. Engines roaring, the green flag is out, and we're racing here in group number 3 of the NASCAR Generations Tournament. Sneaky Bob wastes no time taking an early lead from the pole position, but here comes Arlo right in his tail, giving Bob a little bump just to let him know he's there.
It's a neck-and-neck race to the finish between Sneaky Bob and Arlo, but Bob holds on. Sneaky Bob takes the win in this first race thriller.
And there's Raging Ricky trickling across the finish line, bringing up the rear of the pack. Let's take a look at that race again in slow motion, because this one had some serious action up front. Sneaky Bob takes the early lead from that pole position, while Leo, Cousin Ricky, and Raging Ricky drop back early. No match for the top 3.
That's right, Patrick. In just a second, we'll see their qualifying positions, but Sneaky Bob, Arlo, and Dusty Miles qualified in the top part of qualifying, while Leo, Cousin Ricky, and Raging Ricky qualified in the second half of qualifying towards the end of the pack. We pull up the scorecard after race number 1, and to the right of the driver's name, you see their qualifying position coming into this group number 3. 3 cars qualified early, 4 cars qualified slower, and that is what you're going to pay attention to right here as these cars do rotate one position clockwise and race again. And right now we have the faster cars out in front, but what is going to happen after we make the turn and those fast cars are behind the slower cars?
That's right, Ned. Again, you see Arlo, Sneaky Bob, and Dusty Miles way out in front, pulling away from the pack because they are the faster cars. They're running flawless laps down the Big O, and they can't be stopped. Here comes Raging Ricky spinning across the finish line for 4th place, and then Leo spinning backwards across the finish line, and unfortunately, we do not see Cousin Ricky anywhere.
Patrick, while you were blabbing, you missed this amazing battle between Dusty Miles and Sneaky Bob. It looks like Dusty Miles is going to take the inside on Sneaky Bob right here. He hits the curb and slides slightly to the left, and Sneaky Bob takes advantage on the outside, passing Dusty Miles and taking the 2nd place spot.
And we take a look at that pass in slow motion over our turn 1 cam. Watch Sneaky Bob pass on the outside there. He makes a run in Arlo, but unfortunately is unable to get by in that 69 Charger. That T-Bird held him off to the finish line. Arlo first, Sneaky Bob second, Dusty Miles third, and there comes the rest of the pack. Raging Ricky, we know he spins around and crosses the finish line here. Then Leo makes his way across the finish line. Tied for first place, we have Arlo and Sneaky Bob with Dusty Miles right behind, followed by the other 3 drivers bringing up the rear.
Yeah, Patrick, we've seen some great racing between those top 3 drivers, but the bottom 3 have yet to show us anything substantial, but hopefully they come back here in the second half of this race. Here is race number 3. They're out of there. Dusty Miles out front, Arlo to his right, Sneaky Bob right in his tail. Sneaky Bob makes an epic pass on the outside of Arlo, pushing him just slightly, and down the track he goes towards Dusty Miles. Will be able to take out Dusty Miles? No! Dusty Miles for first, Sneaky Bob for second, Arlo for third. And here comes Leo, Raging Ricky, and Cousin Ricky skidding all over the place across the finish line.
All right, we're going to watch this replay here for you and see what happened in race number 3, and then we're going to go to the Loopster halftime show.
Nah, Patrick, we ain't doing loopsters this time. I'm pulling an audible. We're not doing loopsters.
Well, then what's the halftime show going to be?
Oh, you just wait. You're going to love it.
Ned, I don't like the sound of that voice. What are you up to? What's going to happen in the halftime show?
Patrick, let me show the scorecard here, and then we'll get into the halftime show. Just hold your horses. All right, Leo's crossing the finish line in reverse. We got Cousin Ricky and Raging Ricky coming down eventually. All right, let's bring up the scorecards because I want to get into this halftime show. You guys are going to love this. All right, going into the halftime, we have Sneaky Bob with 16, Arlo with 15, and Dusty Miles with 14, and the other three still bringing up the rear. And ladies and gentlemen, the halftime show, it's Arlo and the Party Bus. Here we go. Sit back and enjoy.
Now, that was absolutely ridiculous. Get Arlo and that party bus off the track and Arlo back to his race car.
Ah, come on, Patrick, lighten up. It was kind of fun. Arlo was on the hood of a bus driving down the track.
That's not exactly my type of fun. And here we are in race number 4. Dusty Miles out front again, and Raging Ricky raging and putting a block on Arlo and the rest of the pack. Now Arlo is sideways, and the rest of the pack is pushing Raging Ricky and Arlo down the track. Will anyone be able to get loose? Raging Ricky breaks loose, Arlo right in his tail. You see Dusty Miles crossing the finish line in first place with nobody near him. Here comes Raging Ricky, Arlo, and Arlo makes a pass right at the finish line. It's Sneaky Bob's sideways and gets smashed by Cousin Ricky. Oh my gosh, what is going on in race number 4?
Ha! Patrick, I told you poop's gonna hit the fan when the slow cars are out front and the fast cars are in the back. And this is what happens. Let's watch this slower down for you. Here we go. We got Raging Ricky going sideways. Arlo pushing him. Cousin Ricky and Sneaky Bob trying to get by, but they can't get by. Now they're all sliding sideways, and Leo's just in the back saying, someone get the heck out of my way, I want to get by. And then something had to give, and somehow these cars had to break free and make their way down towards the finish line. Unfortunately, Leo spins out, and right here we see the true speed of Arlo after being blocked. He makes his way down past Raging Ricky, accelerates through the finish line, and takes second place. Then we watch Sneaky Bob get smashed by Cousin Ricky. Cousin Ricky could not get by on the right-hand side and hits the front of Sneaky Bob and pushes him across the finish line for fourth place. Cousin Ricky taking fifth. And Leo gets a big, fat 0 for DNF.
Now, it looked like Leo got tired of the pack holding him up, so he just decided to pull over and park his car right in track. There you see him going into turn 4, sitting there on the side of the road. He'll get a DNF on this one, 0 points for him. But folks, I'm not sure that matters. I'm not sure he had a chance at pulling this one off in the first place. Right there you see Arlo and Dusty Miles tie with 20 points and Sneaky Bob right behind him. Again, the top 3 cars move on to the next round of the NASCAR Generations Tournament. This is a 48-car tournament, and only one car will come out victorious at the end.
All right, race number 5, we have Dale Earnhardt, Cousin Ricky out front. He's leading the pack, and Raging Ricky sliding sideways, and Raging Ricky again blocking the whole entire pack. Dusty Miles up in the curb, Leo on the inside. The slower of the 3 cars are 1, 2, 3, and the faster cars are stuck in the back. Dusty Miles hits, I don't even know what's happening right now. Dusty Miles, what did he even hit? What was in the road right there? Let's slow it down for you and take a closer look. Again, we have almost an exact replay of race number 4. Raging Ricky gets sideways, holds up the rest of the pack. Cousin Ricky breaks free and takes the win. And here, watch this. Dusty Miles gets pushed up on the curb. Sneaky Bob hits him, gets him off the curb, but that slows up Dusty Miles, Sneaky Bob, and Arlo. They're out of it for this race, leaving Cousin Ricky, Raging Ricky, and Leo first, second, and third spots.
Well, Ned, I hate to see this type of racing going on in the second half of this group number 3, but it does get me excited for the future down the road of this NASCAR Generations Tournament, because our first 3 races were clean and flawless. Those drivers were running clean, fast races. So as we get through the packs and eliminate the slower cars, this racing is only going to get better and better and better here on the Big O in the NASCAR Generations Tournament.
That's right, Patrick. It's just heating up. And speaking of heating up, it's race number 6, the final race in group number 3. Leo leads the pack, followed by Sneaky Bob giving him a push in the bumper, and Arlo right behind him. Cousin Ricky on the outside, and the rest of the pack falling back slightly. We have a battle between Leo, Sneaky Bob, and Arlo. Arlo spins around sideways, Sneaky Bob sideways. Cousin Ricky comes in and hits the pack, then Dusty Miles pushes them. Arlo's sideways, can he break loose? What's gonna happen? Arlo's still sideways. Leo takes the win. Sneaky Bob in second, and here comes Arlo, Cousin Ricky, and Dusty Miles, third, fourth, and fifth, and Raging Ricky getting those style points, spinning around, and crossing the finish line in sixth.
So watch this. Sneaky Bob and Arlo want to try to get by Leo for the first place. We know they're faster, but they can't get by. They buckle under pressure, and both of them spin out sideways. That spin out causes a massive pileup, but luckily Sneaky Bob breaks loose. But Arlo, Cousin Ricky, and Dusty Miles cause a little bit of a pileup here, and Arlo just can't get it spun back around. Cousin Ricky's pushing on his side of his car, and he finishes the race just like this. He finishes, literally does a half of a lap sideways, getting pushed by Cousin Ricky, taking third place, Cousin Ricky fourth place, Dusty Miles fifth place, and Raging Ricky coming in for sixth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Arlo couldn't get spun back around or he was pulling a block maneuver to save some points, but either way, he takes third place. And let's pull up the final scores. We have Sneaky Bob with 26 points leading the pack and taking the win. Dusty Miles and Arlo with 25 each, moving on to the next round. Cousin Ricky, Leo, and Raging Ricky going home. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Until next time, stay tuned, stay passionate, and get ready for more exciting moments on the track with me and Patrick.